All right, boys, the day's finally here. It's time for EA College Football 25 review. I've been itching to do this one. You guys all know. I already gave you the review 2 months ago. It was pretty much spot on. Not hard though with EA. You see the name EA, you see the Frostbite engine, and football together. And you already know what you're getting. For the most part, you know what you're getting. So just a little bit about this game before we get into it. This is a brand new college football installment from EA. They haven't made a college football game in 10 years since NCAA 14. So this is a big step for them. They can barely handle one football game and they're going to come out and make a second football game. That's ballsy, man. But anyways, so this game has 4 major game modes. It's got Dynasty mode, Road to Glory mode, Road to College Playoffs mode, and Ultimate Team mode. Yeah, Ultimate Team. You guys know Dynasty mode, you just create your coach, you work your way up running a school, recruit your players, hire coordinators. Road to Glory mode's a create a player. You try to become a college football legend. Start from the bottom and work your way up. Road to College Playoffs mode is, from what I can tell, an online mode where you play against real people using normal college teams. You just try to win games and climb the playoff ladder. It's pretty straightforward. And we all know what Ultimate Team is. EA had some names for a couple of their new features this year in this iteration of football. It's really just Madden disguised as a college football game, but we'll get into that. So one of them is they called it Campus IQ, and it's supposed to have better defensive and blocking AI and revamped passing mechanics. And the play calling is supposed to adapt to your play style, I guess. It's supposed to be smarter at recognizing you running the same plays over and over again. And then they have the wear and tear system, which is a new health system for the players that can make them lose attributes during a game if they take too many hits or over the course of games. So you have to manage their health. And then they have home field advantage, which is a huge thing in college football. The home team crowds can cause away team screen shaking, missing pre-play icons, or moving play art, stuff like that. So it is a really cool addition. Alright, let's get into the gameplay aspect of this game. So some of the good things about the gameplay is the movement in general no longer feels like you're running in mud with cement shoes on. And I'm comparing this to Madden 24 at this moment. You can finally, for the most part, make instant cuts just using your left stick, which is amazing because I feel like you haven't been able to do that in Madden in years. It just kind of plays itself and try to go left, and once you are going in one direction, you're not going the other way without an animation, like a juke or something like that. So it does feel nice to be able to freely move your player around. Feels good. The animations do feel slightly more fluid than Madden. Since you aren't running in the mud anymore in this game, the jukes and the spins feel tighter, and they actually work pretty well for the most part, depending on your running back, obviously, and the attributes that they have. The revamped passing mechanic it's pretty cool. You have more control over your ball trajectory and placement using this meter, but there's also a lot of stuff going on just to get the ball out of your hand and to the receiver. You gotta do the passing meter. You gotta pick where you want to place the ball. You gotta pick what type of catch you want with the receiver after you release the ball and all that shit. You just want to kick back and kind of zone out and read and play football. It kind of muddies up that aspect, in my opinion, but to each their own. There's a new kicking meter in this game. It takes some getting used to, but I ended up liking it. It adds more nuance to kicking, especially extra points. It's not always a gimme, especially if you're the away team and the home field is going absolutely insane. You can easily miss extra points or a chip shot field goal because your meter starts moving back and forth, your directional stuff, and you got to time like 2 different things and stop one of them in the middle. So it can be kind of difficult. So I actually like that. When you're making a player this year in college football, there's a decent amount of faces to choose from, surprisingly, when you're making them. And they were even nice enough to give us a few options for morphing that individual face's ears, nose, mouth, chin, all that stuff. So based on the last few years of Madden, at least you can kind of customize your player a little bit here. Well, guys, that's all I got for the good, for gameplay. Alright, the bad. Obviously, just like with Maddens, the menus are slow as fuck and clunky. There's no depth to anything in the Dynasty or Road to Glory menus. Every menu is just like one sentence, and it plays very little role in anything going on. Like, for instance, under the top stories, you'll just find 3 to 5 things you can look at, with maybe 1 or 2 sentences saying something like, Texas A&M looks to get a win over rival Texas. And it's like, alright. And that's it, every single time. You can't even select to look at the matchup or stats of the team on that page, on the top stories. It's really strange. But because of all that, nothing in Dynasty mode or Road to Glory mode gets you invested in your organization or your players. I didn't give a damn about what was going on, because it's just a menu. Hey, this happened. Hey, that happened. Blah, blah, blah. One sentence things. Moving on. 10 minutes later, because you got to get through all the clunky, slow-ass menus. Every tab. The sad part is they're actually faster than Madden. They're still slow as fuck. So it's kind of funny. Alright, in the Dynasty mode, right out the gate, you can't export your draft classes to Madden 25. Which is probably, in my opinion, the top selling point of the last NCAA 14 game, or a lot of the NCAA games. Because of that, I think this game might be dead in like 3 months. When I say dead, I mean it'll be down to just a couple thousand whales that play, that are spending 10 grand on their stupid fucking ultimate teams for number 96. I'm not really sure what was going on, but recruiting for me at about week 4, my first season, seemed to get bugged. It kept telling me that I didn't have enough recruiting hours to complete a task, even though it showed that I had, in one of the columns, hundreds more than I needed. And that went on for weeks. So I lost a lot of recruits because of it. It really sucked. I just kept going back to it every week trying to do it, and I was looking at the points. I'm looking at the other column of points. I'm like, I got points in both. It says it costs hours, and I'm trying to schedule, I don't know what it was, like a visit or something for my recruits, and it just kept telling me, no, you don't have enough hours. You have insufficient hours. You have insufficient hours. So, and that went on from like week 4. I think it maybe kicked in like week 9, but by then I had lost all my top recruits, so it didn't even matter. When you get through to the off season and you actually do the coach carousel, is what they call it in this game. It's really not a coach carousel at all. It's just a menu. Nothing happens. You just see a list of teams that are hiring, and then you pick one. End of carousel. And for anybody that played the old games of the old Maddens way back, Madden 13, 14, NCAA 14, the coach carousel was cool, man. You would be going through and weren't sure if you should pass on this job because you weren't sure if you were going to get another offer from another team or not. It was cool, man. Especially if you got fired, you definitely were like, maybe I should take this crappy school team. Just like I said in my prior video from 2 months ago, hiring coordinators, you don't do anything. You just pick a guy and nothing happens. Hopefully he has your same system, but even if he doesn't, it doesn't fucking matter. You don't get to adjust the salaries for the coordinators when you're trying to make the offer, so it just asks, you want to make an offer or not? And then it's out of your hands. They go to another team. That happened to me. One of my coordinators just went somewhere else. Like, okay. Had no option to try to offer him more money or nothing. And there were only like 5 to 7 options for coordinators to hire for each, for offense and for defense. So, slim pickings. This is a very bare bones mode. It gets boring real quick because everything in this game lacks depth. You never connect with your team, and it quickly makes you feel like you're just going through the motions, almost like playing exhibition games. You're just going through the motions. You find yourself asking, am I even having fun with this? I mean, what am I doing here? Alright, but that's all for Dynasty mode. It's very bare bones, and it's not, anybody who's looking for a franchise mode, not what you're looking for. Not what you're looking for. Alright, moving on to Road to Glory mode. Once again, gotta mention this every time because it's everywhere is plagued by it. Clunky bare bones menus. The menus were glitchy and broken. Some pages were just blank and wouldn't even load any information. It seems like it just goes down more and more each year when they do these superstar modes or any of this stuff, but you know what? The mode only allows you to choose from 5 positions now. You can only be a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a middle linebacker, or a cornerback. You can't even be a safety. The fuck? After I made my player, which I made Barry Sanders, I was asked 3 basic questions, and that was it. About what kind of person I am. And then I got put on the team. So from there, each week you get energy points that you can spend on studying, practicing, healing your player, or any other activities. You just put your points into studying so the bar goes up. I said that in the video from 2 months ago. Yep, it was a green bar, it gets yellow and red, and it just tells you you're unprepared, you're kind of prepared, and you're well prepared for your test that you have to take. And you don't take a test, you just get to a certain deadline. You have to be prepared. That's it. You just put the points in and move on. It's super lame and boring, and that's pretty much how everything is. Just a little menu, press button. There's nothing to it. There's no depth to it. Doesn't matter. You could put points in leadership, and it helps give boosts to the team and helps with your coach trust, because you gotta, earn your way up to become a starter in some places. Unlike Dynasty mode, though, the one good thing about this is you can actually export your Road to Glory player into Madden 25 to continue the NFL journey. And it's a great feature. It's just too bad we don't have it for Dynasty mode, because we need that. Regardless of what I think this game is, if it's good or bad, even if it was terrible, that would still be some kind of selling point, being able to transfer my players over. But you can't transfer them over. Also have to mention, unlike NCAA 14 where you could do this, you don't start from high school in this game, you just start right away in college. Which is really dumb, because if you go back to NCAA 14 and go export your players to the real Madden 25, that's how stupid they are. We got to go on a side tangent here. So OG Madden 25 is Madden 14, because they named Madden 14 Madden 25 because it was the 25th anniversary. So now here we are 10 years later, and we got Madden NFL 25, and we got OG Madden 25. So I'll just call that one Madden 14. So you guys know. It's really cool. From NCAA 14 and Madden 14, you could take your Road to Glory player all the way from high school all the way through to retirement in the NFL. It was really awesome. And same with the players on your teams. When you're running Dynasty mode, you could just export everybody over. It was such a cool thing. Just want to point out, that year they stopped making NCAA in NCAA 14, and that was also, I believe, the last year they used the Ignite engine, and they switched to the Frostbite engine, which we all love so much. And I honestly loved the Ignite engine. It wasn't perfect, but if they had more years on the Ignite engine, it probably would have got there. Because if you go play NCAA 14 or Madden 25, yeah, there's some weird ragdoll stuff going on every once in a while, but you get some mean hits in that game sometimes. You get some crazy plays. It's fluid. The jukes are fluid, man. You can run around with the running back and feel like a running back, making moves, making 3 moves on a play. You do a juke left, do a stutter step, juke right, and then do a spin. Like, you could actually chain things together. Go back and play that game, especially on a real console, on an actual 360, not an emulator, a 360 or a PS3. Go play those and tell me that the hits and everything are better. They're so nasty in that game. Both of the games. But yeah, it's just a shame we can't export all of our players, but you can do it with your Road to Glory players. So that is good. But that's pretty much all there is to this game mode. Once again, it's very bare bones, and it ends up just feeling like another exhibition game over and over, especially when you're not even starting and you're just skipping through sim to next player, sim. You're holding A, just trying to get through the cutscene because you see your guy walking off the field. You're like, come on, get me to the action. It can be very annoying. You're like I said, you ask yourself numerous times, why the fuck am I playing this game? I only played the 10-hour free trial, and by 7 hours, I was I was shot. By 7 hours, I was happy I didn't pay for this game because I was bored out of my mind. Honestly, I've been playing my NCAA 14 game on my 360, and that's all I wanted to do is go back and play that. The whole time I was playing it, I'm just like, I just want to go play NCAA 14. I was having a good time with my Barry Sanders running around in that game. So yeah, it's just very bare bones. It's unfortunate. And then we get to the Ultimate Team mode. You guys all know what you need to know about the Ultimate Team. Obvious sluggish menus. There's not much to do in the mode except buy packs. Who'd have thought? The marketplace is the feature of this mode. The tutorial makes that clear by immediately making you familiar with how to buy packs. It's a disgusting mode and it just doesn't have any place in a college football game. You should be ashamed of yourselves, EA. Alright, so to summarize the gameplay overall, it feels pretty much exactly like Madden 24 in my opinion. The one difference being that you don't feel like you're running around in mud with the cement shoes anymore. You can actually move a lot more fluidly in this game. But other than that, this game is a copy-pasted Madden with college football aesthetics. Nothing more, nothing less. Alright, moving on to the visuals and let's talk about the good aspects of it. When it comes to some of the big name schools, the presentation can be pretty damn good. You see detailed cities and landscapes outside the stadium before the game sometimes. And the sights and the sounds of the game day are all there. The bands and the anthems, all that stuff. When the game works, some of the animations look really lifelike. It's pretty cool. Graphics are very modern looking, and it looks great on my Xbox Series S. Alright, moving on to the bad. Once the pregame is over, the crowd starts looking real bad. From far away, the crowd just looks like a mass of colored mush. No detail and everyone's just sitting there barely moving. Sometimes when they do close-ups of the crowd, they just look like a bunch of alien humanoid people with the eyes like bulging out of their heads. They look like Arnold from Total Recall when he gets sucked out onto Mars. EA, give those people air. Some cheerleaders, even some players look like mutants. You know, I didn't know EA was actually, making a mutant football league game, but here we are. Once you start playing for a while, you'll start to see the same 3 to 5 canned crowd animations over and over. I swear the same lady travels the country to every college football game just to sit in the exact same seat at every stadium and proceed to do the same exact dumb-ass fist pumps at every opportunity. Who fuck can afford a life like that? What a privileged bitch, man. I swear. And also, the halftime show's a joke. There's not much there, it's just a quick couple second rundown and then back to the game. Typical. Here's my summary of the visuals. At times the graphics and animations can look very lifelike and really shows what modern gaming is capable of. But those moments are very few and far between. And then in comes the Frostbite engine rearing its ugly head. People in the crowd look like aliens most of the time, or they just look like a motionless blob. The canned animations look fake, and when people are just ignoring physics and glitching through one another constantly, it really takes you out of the game. I mean, it cuts to the crowd, and this Billy over here is just like punching his arm through this guy's fucking chest. You're waiting for him to pull his goddamn heart out, be like, Kalima! Kalima! Oh, Mum Chabai! Oh, Mum Chabai! I mean, geez, dude, these people are just fucking going through bodies, heads, everything. It's like, what the fuck am I watching? Alright, anyways, moving on to the sound. The good part of the sound is the anthems and the drum lines are all there. College football music, that feel. It's got pretty good commentary and it just, overall, especially at first, when you first get into the game, it gives you that authentic college football feel. You're like, alright, boys, we're back in the saddle again. You know, you get in there, you're like, alright, let's do this. The drum lines pop in, you're just, it gets you pumped. That's right when you get into the game. Give it a little time. Because when I first turned on the game, I thought, nice, drumline music's pretty sweet. While I started my journey and, navigating the menus. It takes me a while when I first start my dynasty. I like to set things up. Sometimes leaving sim a season just to get my own kind of recruits in there. All that type of stuff. But after about 3 hours, I couldn't take any more drumline music. It was literally driving me insane listening to it while trying to look through my team using the clunky ass menus. I couldn't take it anymore. The music was insufferable. After 3 hours, I had to turn it off. Maybe it's just me, and I know like the little tracks were like changing, but it's all drumline, all of it. And you're just like, oh, shut the fuck up! 3 hours. That's about all I could take. The commentary can say some pretty off-topic and out-of-touch things from time to time. That's to be expected. It's always there. I had a commentator tell my team that we're finally getting something going before the end of the game. It was the second quarter and I was winning the game. It made no sense. It just seemed out of place, like it was meant for the end of the game. I don't know. So to summarize the sound, I mean, the sounds of the college football are all there, for better or worse. The hits sound good and crunchy. The school anthems are there. Crowd noise is there, but the drum lines will melt your brain after a few hours. You've been warned. So that pretty much sums up the game. I mean, there's honestly not much there. I'd give my final thoughts on this. I mean, the sights are there, the sounds are there, but at the end of the day, it's still just a copy-pasted Madden with college football aesthetics. The fact that you can't export your draft classes from Dynasty mode into Madden is an axe to the knees of this game before it even launched. That was the major selling point of old college football games and a feature that was available 10 years ago, and EA couldn't make it happen. EA's who we thought they were, and the fanboys let them off the hook. Gameplay is old and tiring, as is the Frostbite engine at this point. It's just a been there, done that kind of feel. There's nothing new to see. Just another cash grab. The game as a whole is just very bare bones and lacks any depth to the game modes. Just none. You don't want to play any of the game modes. So, should you buy this game? No! No, just stick with NCAA 14 on the Xbox 360 or PS3. Seriously, like, get the systems out and get Madden 25 as well and just roll with that. You'd be good to go. Just keep it moving, man, because you can export all your players. You got all your stuff right there. It plays better. It runs better. Everything is better in both of those games. So just stick with that for now until we see a significant improvement. Or at the very least, being able to export our fucking draft classes. So no, do not buy this game. Matter of fact, just play the 10-hour free trial. Do what I did, because, I mean, by the end of the 10 hours, you won't want to buy this game. So yeah, by all means, play the game. Do the 10-hour free trial. You won't want to buy it. So you won't. So I don't even need to tell you not to buy. Just play the free trial. You won't buy the game. It's fucking terrible. Do not buy this game. It's not worth the price. It'll be on Game Pass by December anyways, most likely. So just wait till then. If you have to play it, like I said, use the 10-hour free trial, because by the end of those 10 hours, you're going to realize that this is just a copy-pasted Madden with college football aesthetics. That's it. So, there you go, guys. That was the college football review. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I know the fanboys are going to be pissed. They've been all praising this fucking game. Out here calling it the second coming of football games and all this stuff. They're out of their minds. Time will tell. But anyways, I gotta get the hell out of here, guys. I'll talk to you later. It's been real.